Hello everyone and welcome to Basic Marketing Seminary. In this session, we will start by recapping the indicators discussed in our previous meeting, and then we will try to see how we can apply those indicators in different marketing applications. Our first indicator is the company's market. What is a company market? All the sales made by a company in a specific period of time and in a specific territory or location. For example, the sales made by Coca-Cola Company in Romania in 2019. We will consider all the brands and all the products owned and sold by the company on that market. Our second indicator is the products market, or all the sales made from a specific product like sugar, cars, books, smartphones, in a specific period of time and in a defined territory. We can have as an example the sales made from bottled water in Romania in 2019. We will consider all the producers, all the brands, and all the variations of that product. Our third indicator is the market share. The market share shows us how much from a market is owned by a specific company. If we consider the soft drinks market in Romania 2019, we see that Coca-Cola Company has a market share of 37%. In other words, Coca-Cola sales represented 37% from the total sales of soft drinks. How was computed this value? By dividing the sales of Coca-Cola Company over the total sales of soft drinks and multiply by 100 to obtain the percent. When we add all the percent of all the competitors or companies on that market, we should get no more nor less than 100%, which represents the total market. Based on the market share, we can establish how strong is every company on that market or the position owned on the market. In our example, Coca-Cola has a market share of 37%, is the highest market share, therefore is the leader of the market. Pepsi occupies the second place with a market share of 30%, therefore Pepsi is the challenger of that market. Our fourth indicator is the relative market share. The relative market share shows us how close we are to our main competitor. The main competitor for all the companies on that market is the biggest company or the leader. When we compute the indicator, we divide the sales of the company to the sales of the leader. Yet, can we compute the relative market share for the leader too? Or does the leader have an important competitor that should pay attention to, that can attack the position of the leader? The answer is yes. The challenger is the main competitor of the leader. Therefore, we can compute the indicator for the leader too, dividing the sales of the leader to the sales of the challenger. With our indicators, we are going to solve several applications. And we start with application 2 from the workbook. Please read the text. As you can see, we have a company that sells only 3 types of products. We have the location, Oradea City, and we have the period of time, year 2017. Our first question is if we compute the indicator requested, namely the company's market, from the monetary perspective, or do we have what is necessary to compute the sales in monetary units? Of course we do. We have the price of each product expressed in lei, and we have the quantity, how many products were sold. Therefore, we can apply the classical formula of sales, price times quantity. Thus, for the total sales or the company's market, we will have 10,000 boxes times the price of one box, 1.5 lei, plus 12,500 boxes times the price of that type of product, 2 lei, plus 22,000 boxes times 1.8 lei. And you see that we obtain a total of 79,600 lei, which is the monetary perspective. Yet, can we apply also the quantitative perspective? So can we compute the sales in quantity? Do we have what is necessary to compute the sales in quantity? Actually, yes. We have two types of information related to quantity. We have the number of products and we have the weight of each product. In which will we compute the quantitative sales? In this specific case, we will compute only in grams. Why won't we compute on number of products? In practice, we can have situations when the sales are expressed in number of products or boxes or bottles, etc. For example, I can say that in Romania in 2019 were sold 100,000 cars, for example. Yet in this specific case, if we add the boxes, the result is not going to help anyone to take a final decision because those boxes have different sizes. So the low-fat yogurt has 200 grams and the first type of fat yogurt is actually 2 times smaller. Therefore, we will compute the quantitative sales only in grams because grams is a unitary unit. How can we compute? We know the size of a product and we know how many products were sold. Therefore, we will have 10,000 boxes times the size of 100 grams plus 12,500 boxes times the size of 250 grams plus 22,000 boxes times 200 grams the size. And you can see that you will get a bigger value, 8,525,000 grams. And I had made the transformation in tons. Usually in practice, companies have the tendencies to make transformations. They prefer to work with smaller values if it's possible. Now we have both perspectives, the monetary and the quantitative perspective. So we have finished the computation of the data. We have also to make the interpretation. For every application, you have to make the interpretation because in practice, if you are going to make or write a report, you will have to bring not only the data but also the expression of the data in a text or in a phrase. Therefore, for the interpretation, I'm going to combine the monetary and the quantitative perspective in one single phrase. So in Oradea in 2017, the company sold 8.525 tons of yogurt in a value of 79,600 lei. You don't have to use exactly the same phrase because, for example, when I'm going to make a report, I'm not going to repeat all over the same phrase. I'm going to change a little bit to have a more professional expression. We continue with the next application, application 5. Please read the text. As you can see, in this application we have to analyze the beer market in Romania in 2014. The requested indicators are the products market shares, and relative market shares for all the companies. Our question is if we can compute from a monetary perspective the indicators, if we compute them from a quantitative perspective, or we can compute from both perspectives as we did in the previous application. If you check table 2, you will see that we have sales in million hectoliters of beer. This is for the quantitative perspective. And we have sales in million euros in monetary units. So this is for the monetary perspective. Therefore, we can compute again from both perspectives. Another question that we have for this application: how can we use the data from the first table to compute our indicators? The answer is that we cannot use it. We do not have, let's say, numbers, sales in the previous table. We just have some general information related to the market. We can get a global idea that, for example, on the market we have a lot of brands, but behind those brands are especially 4 big producers. We see that those producers cover all the types of segments. What is the difference between those segments, for example, super premium and value? Usually this difference is based on, let's say, the price and quality relationship. In the super premium, you will have in a market products that are more expensive and that have a higher quality, while in the value segment, you will have cheaper products with a lower quality. So actually everything that we need, it is already mentioned or grouped in the second table. I had copied the values from the previous table, the one related to sales in million hectoliters and million euro. And I'm going to start to solve the application considering the quantitative perspective. So we are working with million hectoliters. To solve the application, I prefer to work with the table because for me it's easier to show you the differences between the companies. But in practice, if you want, you can work also with the formulas and substituting in the formulas. If you will have to do this type of computation for a company, most probably you will actually use Excel sheet. Therefore, you will have the table perspective. So I had copied the first 2 columns of the table. I have the sales in million hectoliters for the producers. I'm going to add the total. How I have computed the total? Just added those 5 values. And I see that I obtained total of 19.4 million hectoliters. What represents this total? This 19.4 million hectoliters? The total sales or total market or products market. Now that I have the sales for each company and I have the sales of the market, I can compute the market share. Using the formula, company sales over total sales times 100. So for Heineken, I will have the company sales 5.1 million hectoliters over the total 19.4 million hectoliters and multiplied by 100. So for Heineken, the market share is 26.29%. For market share, my recommendation would be to use 2 decimals, but you have to pay attention at some point because you'll have to round them. We will discuss immediately. In case of Ursus, the sales of the company 4.8 over the total sales 19.4 times 100, and we have a market share of 24.74, similar for the rest of the companies. When we are adding those values, we should obtain no more nor less than 100%, the total market. And this is why I've told you that you have to pay attention, because you'll have to round some of the percentages. A 99.98, 99.99, it's not a correct value. In this application, I actually obtained here 8.76%, so I decided to round it to 8.77 to obtain 100%. Now that I have the market share, I need to establish the position of the leader and the challenger to compute the relative market share. So, who is the leader? Who is the challenger of this market? You can work with the market share, or you can check the sales. You will get the same result. The market's leader is Heineken, while the market's challenger is Ursus. Now that we have those two positions, we can compute the relative market share. For the relative market share, we divide the sale of the company to the sale of the leader, except the leader. In case of the leader, we have the sales of the leader over the sales of the challenger. In some situations, you can use also the market share. You don't have to use the sales. The result will be very similar. You will have some differences because you don't work with all the decimals here. If you would take all the decimals, you would get exactly the same result if you divide the sales or if you divide the market shares. Returning to our case, for the Heineken is the leader, so we have the sales of the leader over the sales of the challenger. For Ursus, the sales of the company over the sales of the leader. Similar for the rest, sales of the company over the leader. Sales of the company 1.7 million over the leader 5.1 million. Do not compute for others and do not add the total, because this result is not going to help take some decisions. At the end, you can check if only one value is above 1 and the rest below. The only value that should be greater than 1 is the value obtained by the leader. If you have more values greater than 1, most probably you have reversed the formula, so check the ratio again. After you have computed these indicators, you have to make the interpretation. For the products market, we have made the interpretation in the previous application, so it's easy. The total sales of beer in Romania in 2014 have reached to 19.4 million hectoliters. Or in Romania in 2014 were sold 19.4 million hectoliters of beer. For the market share, I'm going to take as an example InBev with a market share of 20.10%. So the interpretation should be based on the ratio, the sales of the company over the total. The sales made by InBev Romania in Romania in 2014 represent 20.10% from the total sales of beer from the quantitative point of view. In case of leader, challenger and so on, the interpretation is exactly the same, is not different. For the relative market share, I'm going to take two companies because here the leader has an interpretation that is a little bit different. I will start with InBev. And imagine multiplying this value with 100, which would be a 76%. So it is a 76%, but obtained by dividing the sales of the company to the sales of the leader. Therefore, the sales of InBev Romania represent 76% of the leader's sales from the quantitative point of view. Is this a strong company? It is a small company? Well, when you have 76% of leader sales, you can say that this company is quite strong on that market. Yet, it's not as strong as Ursus because Ursus has 94% of the leader's sales. Ur-Bebe is definitely more smaller with the 33% from leader's sales. In case of the leader, if you multiply by 100, and you can check it here, it would be 106%. So, leader sales over challenger sales. The sales of the leader Heineken in Romania 2014 exceeded by 6% the sales of the challenger Ursus from the quantitative point of view. Why don't we compute for the others the indicator? If you will make the ratio, you will see that it will be a 0.76, and you may get a tendency to believe that that group has 76% of the relative market share, therefore is a strong group, which is false because we decided to group a lot of small companies there because they are not important on the market. They do not have power to influence the market. So if we divide and compute the relative market share for each individual company, you will see that they will have very small relative market shares. Maybe they will have 1% compared to the leader, 2%, 5% of the leader, and so on. So we made that group because they are not important. And if you compute the indicator, you will think otherwise. Now that we had made the interpretations, we had finished with this application. Before solving the next application, I want to underline that for previous application, I have solved only the quantitative perspective because the monetary perspective will be as a homework. So our next application is application 6. Please read the text. In this market, we have just three companies, A, B, and C, and we have their sales in year 2016. The sales are expressed in million lei, therefore we have the monetary perspective. What is requested? To establish the indicators products market share and relative market share, but for year 2017. And we have an additional indicator, the commercial performance. So this is a new part. In order to compute the indicators requested for year 2017, we need the sales in year 2017. Is it difficult to obtain those sales? Actually, no. We have the sales in year 2016 and we know how they modify in the next year. For those who do not remember how to increase or decrease a value in percent, I have inserted here a brief recap. Therefore, for company A, the sales increased by 10%. We have the initial sales in year 2016 plus 10% times the sales in year 2016. We will reach to a value of 220 million lei. For company B, we have again an increasement, but this one is for 20%. So we have the initial sales 150 plus 20% of 150, which leads us to 180 million lei. For company C, the sales drop by 30%. Therefore, we have the initial value 50 minus 30% times 50. This will lead us to the final value of 35 million lei in year 2017. Now that we have the sales of A, B, and C in 2017, we can compute the indicators requested. I had inserted in this table the sales computed previously for A, B, and C in year 2017 in million lei. I will insert the total, computing by adding those three values. The total value indicates the product's market, which is 435 million lei. With the sales of the companies and the sales of the market, I can compute now the market share, dividing the sales of the company to the sales of the market and multiplying by 100 to obtain the percent. Therefore, in case of company A, I will divide the sales of company A, 220, to the total sales of the market, 435, and multiply by 100. This will lead us to a 50.57%. Similar for B and C, sales of the company over the total. When we are adding the percent, you will see that you will get exactly 100 or the total market. Now that we have the market shares, we can establish who is the strongest company on the market, the leader, and who is the company on the second place to compute the relative market share. So who is the leader and who is the challenger? A is the leader, B is the challenger. With the challenger and the leader, we can establish now the relative market share. Same formula, the company sales over the leader's sales. In case of company C, we have the company sales 35 over the leader 220. In case of the leader, we will have the sales of the leader over the sales of the challenger. So 220 millions divided to 180 millions. As you can see, one of the values is above 1, the leader, and the rest are below. I'm not going to make the interpretation of the data. You already have the examples in the previous applications. We will continue with the next indicator, the new one, namely the commercial performance. For the commercial performance, I need the sales in two different periods of time. In our case, the sales in year 2016 and the sales in year 2017. And we also need the total sales or the market. With those sales, we are going to establish the evolution of each company and the evolution of the market. In case of company A, B, and C, the evolution, increasement by 10%, by 20%, by 30%, was mentioned in the text of the application, so I just copied the values here. Yet for the market, the evolution is not given, so I have to identify this difference between year 2016 and year 2017 in percent. And when you need to find the difference in percent, you have to use this formula. The mathematical formula that is recommended when you want to establish the difference in percent is the final value minus initial over initial times 100. And this formula will give you even the sign. So if you get a decreasing value, you will have a minus something. The final value is the one in year 17. The initial value is the one in previous year. So for the market we have final value 435 minus initial 400 over 400 times 100 to obtain the percent. Therefore, the market increased by 8.75. This is the evolution of the market. Now that we have the evolution for each company and the evolution of the market, we can compute the performance of the company. How we compute? By comparing the evolution of the company to the evolution of the market. In case of Company A increased by 10%. This is the pace or the rate of the company. So the Company A increased by 10%, while the market increased by 875. As you can see, 10% is greater than 875. Therefore, the company had a positive performance. Or, in other words, our company increased by 10%, while the market refers to all the companies. The market refers also to the average value. So our company increased by 10%, while the average value of the market was 8.75. This means that this company has an advantage compared to some of the competitors, therefore increased also the market share. In case of B, we have the same similar situation with an increasement, but with 20%. So this company increased by 20%, while the competitors in average increased by 8.75. Therefore, we had a positive performance. This company leaves behind some of the competitors. In case of Company C, this company dropped by 30%, while in average the market increased by 8.75. So companies on the market increased in average by 8.75, while this company dropped by 30%. So this company is left behind by some of the competitors, is losing customers. Therefore, it had a negative performance. It is not enough just to make this comparison, you also have to make the interpretation. But before starting the interpretation, I want to underline you that many students confuse between evolution and performance. The evolution of a company means that you are going to compare the sales from a year to the sales of a previous year, while the performance means that you are going to compare the evolution of the company to the evolution of the market. The interpretation for the performance: in case of Company A, the sales of Company A increased from 200 million lei in year 2016 to 220 million lei in year 2017 by 10%, having an increasing pace higher than the market. Therefore, the company had a positive performance, similar to the rest. We will continue by discussing several cases of commercial performance. In our previous application, we had met just 2 cases. In practice, we can have more. If the company increases in a higher pace than the market, so with a higher percent, we will have a positive performance. Why? Because in average those competitors increase just by 2%, while the company increases with a bigger percent, with a 5%. So it's going to leave behind some of the competitors and take some of the clients. When the company increases but with a lower pace than the market, in this situation, in average, the competitors increased by 2%, but the company increased just by 1%, the company has a negative performance. So this company is going to be left behind by the competitors. It's not enough to increase, you have to increase in the same pace or in a higher pace than the rest of the competitors or the average situation of the market in order to keep a good position. Otherwise, they're going to take some of their clients. In the third case, if the company's sales drop and the market increases, we have the classical case of negative performance, because in average the competitors increase by 2% while this company's sales drop, so it's going to be left behind by the competitors. In another case, if both the company and the market drop, you have to check who has a a higher decreasement. In this situation, you can see that in the average the competitors dropped by 2%, while this company had a higher decreasement by 4%. So again, it's going to be left behind by the competitors and is having a negative performance. Another case when the market and the company have the same evolution, can be positive or can be negative. In this situation, you will have equality and the performance is called neutral. In this case, the company is not in a better or in a worse situation compared to the previous period of time, is in the same situation. If you are going to compute the market share, you will see that it has exactly the same market share. So kept the same position. We are going to continue with application 7. Please read the text of the application. As you can see, on this market we have 4 companies, and it is requested to characterize the performance for those companies. So you don't have to compute other indicators. Yet, in order to characterize the commercial performances for year 2017 compared to 2016, we have to determine the missing value, the sales of B in 17. How can we compute the sales of B in 2017? It's not difficult. We have to establish the sales, the total sales in 2017. If we have the total sales, from the total we can extract the sales of A, B, and C and obtain the missing value. Can we obtain the total sales of 2017 or the products market in 2017? Yeah. How? We just have to increase the total sales from the previous year, and we have all the data from the previous year. So we start by computing the total sales in 2016, adding those 4 values, and we are going to obtain 1000 units. Then we are going to increase them by 10%. So the sales in 2017 are going to be 1100 units. In order to establish the value of B, we have now the total and we have the other values owned or made by the other 3 companies. So from the total, we are going to extract the sales of A, sales of C, and sales of D. This leads us to 410 units. Now we have the sales of A, B, C, and D. Therefore, we can go and compute the values for the commercial performances. For the commercial performances, we actually have 2 possibilities to determine the values. One is to compare the evolution of sales to the evolution of the market, and another one is to compare the market shares. In the previous application, we compared the evolution of the sales to the evolution of the market. This is the first approach that I'm going to use in this application, but I'm going to consider also the second approach. So, for the evolution, we need the sales in 2016 and the sales in 2017 and the total. And you are going to compute the values using the formula final value minus initial over initial times 100. For the market, we had the value, it was mentioned in the text, so we don't have to compute, we can copy the value. But for A, B, C, D, the values are missing, so we have to use the formula. For example, in case of A, we have final value 370 minus 300 over 300 times 100, and we can obtain different percentages. Now that we have the percent of each company and we have the evolution of the market, we can make the comparisons. I want you to remind you that in order to establish the performance, you have to compare the evolution of the company to the evolution of the market. For A, we have an evolution of 23.33%, an increasement by 23.33%, which is bigger than the increasement of the market, 10%. So this company increases with a higher pace than the average of the market, therefore it has a positive performance. It's going to leave behind some of the competitors. The second company has an increasement by 2.5, yet this increasement is lower than the average of the market. Therefore, this company is going to be left behind by some of the competitors, so it has a negative performance. Again, it is not enough to increase. You have to increase to the same pace or in a higher pace than the average of the competitors to have a good position and maintain a position on the market. In the third case, for company C, we can see that the evolution is 0. Why? In year 2016, the sales are 100. In 2017 are also 100. So the difference is 0 in percent. This means that this company stayed at a constant level or had constant sales, while in average the competitors increased by 10%. Is this good? Is this bad? So the company stayed at the same level while the rest increased by 10%. Is actually a bad thing. It's not a good thing to be in a constant situation while the rest increase, because in this case it means that you are left behind by your competitors. So we have again a negative performance. For D, the company increases by 10% and the market increases also by 10%. As you can see, we have the case with neutral performance. It means that this company doesn't have a better or a worse situation compared to the previous situation or the previous period of time. In other words, it kept the same position on the market. So it has the same market share. For the interpretation, let's take for example company A. The sales of company A increased from 300 units in 2016 to 370 units in 2017 by 23.33% in a pace that is higher than the pace of the market, therefore it has a positive performance. Similar interpretation for the rest of the companies. We continue with the second possibility to compute the commercial performance using the market share. I had computed the market share for 2016. How? I had the sales for each company and I had the sales of the market, and I have divided them. The similar formula was used for the market share in 2017. Sales of the companies over the total sales, yet from 2017. Now I have the market share obtained by each company in 2016 and the market share obtained in 2017. How can I compute the performance or determine the performance? Comparing the market shares in 2017 to the market shares in 2016. If a company has in 2017 a higher market share than in 16, it means that this company now owns a higher percent from the total market. If you own a higher percent of the market, you had definitely a positive performance and you left behind some of the competitors and took some of their clients. If the market share in 2017 is smaller than the one in 16, it means that you had lost a part of the market, so you had lost some of the clients to your competitors. Therefore, you will have a negative performance. So we are making the comparisons, the market share from 17 compared to the one from the previous year. And we can see that Company A had in 2017 a market share of 33.64%, which is bigger than the one owned in the previous year. So now the company owns a higher part of the market. It owns more clients compared to the previous year, therefore it had a positive performance. In case of B, we can see that the market share in 2017 is 37.27%. It is lower than the one from the previous year, which means that the company lost a part of the market, lost some of the clients, most probably to company A. Similar to B is the situation for C. In case of D, we see that the market share in 2016 was 20%, the one from 17 again 20%. This is the neutral performance what I have told you previously. When the company has a neutral performance, it will keep the market share. It means that it doesn't have a better or a worse situation compared to the previous year. The interpretation is a little bit easier. For example, in case of company A, we will say that the market share of company A increased from 30% in 2016 to 33.64% in 2017. Therefore, the company had a positive performance. Which method to use? You can use any of these methods to prepare for the test, but in practice, the one that is preferred is the one with the evolution comparison. So the one with the sales, not the one with the market share. And we have finished the applications. We are going to discuss the homework that you have to prepare in order to obtain activity. Students that haven't been to school in week 3 have to prepare the monetary perspective for application 5. This is from the workbook. For week 4, everyone has to solve this application that I had prepared here. It's similar to something that you have in the workbook, but should be a little bit more easier. Therefore, work with this option, not with the one from the workbook. Because one of the values is missing, I have mentioned here an indication that can help you identify the missing value. For week 5, you have to prepare to solve a case study. Information regarding the deadline and additional data is presented on the Moodle platform. Check the platform. For the case study, you will have to read several pages of information. It's let's say a delicious case study based on the ice cream market in Romania. And you have these pages with information, and based on that information you have to solve or answer to these requests. And this is all for this first meeting. Have a wonderful day.